to another episode of the Bottom of the Stream Movie Show. My name is Adam.
My name's Nick. Welcome back aboard the Streamboat as we delve the depths of Netflix to find a hidden gem of a movie.
We do indeed.
We hope.
We do hope, because sometimes we do, and sometimes we definitely don't. So let's see if we did this week. This week we watched a movie called Mercy. Mercy is from 2016. It's a 15. It runs for exactly 1 hour and 30 minutes. Currently rated at 4.2 out of 10 on IMDb and is a Netflix original. 4.2, Nick. Thoughts?
I think compared to, without giving too much away, compared to other movies which we have seen previously with that sort of rating, it might be a bit harsh.
Okay, interesting. I think it's about right, but maybe, you could add a couple of points onto it.
Yeah, I'm not talking much.
Yeah.
But it's maybe a little harsh.
This movie stars a guy called James Wolk. He plays Brad. He's in a TV show called Zoo a while back. I don't know if you've seen it. It was about a man who had a zoo. So. He was in a couple of episodes of Mad Men.
Okay, I've never
watched that. And he was also in the Watchmen TV show.
Yes, okay.
Tom Lipinski's also in this movie. He plays a character called Travis. He's in the Snowpiercer TV show.
Yes.
From a few years back.
Yeah.
And also Caitlin Fitzgerald plays Melissa. Most famous possibly she's in Inventing Anna. She's one of the friends in Inventing Anna. She's in Succession, which is the most popular TV show in the world right now. She was in The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Yep.
And she has been on this show before.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know if you'd have spotted this or not.
I did not pick that up. But then this is quite a dark movie.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some darkness in the other film she was in.
Okay.
You're never going to get it.
Okay.
You can have a guess if you want.
Dark Light.
One guess.
Dark Light.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought the darkness was a clue.
No. She's in the man who killed Hitler and then the big.
Is she?
Yes.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that.
No. Yeah, she's in that. Written and directed by a guy called Chris Sparling. Chris Sparling has also featured on this show before.
I did know this.
He wrote Intrusion. He didn't direct it. He wrote it. In fact, this is the only movie he's ever directed, before or since. Okay. But he has written quite a few. He also wrote Greenland, which was Amazon's
really?
post-apocalyptic thing
Gerard
with
Butler
Gerard Butler.
from the end of last year.
He wrote that. And he also wrote Buried with Ryan Reynolds. You ever seen that?
Really? Mm. Yeah.
I quite enjoyed that.
So.
I got a lot of stick for that movie when it came out, because I quite enjoyed it and everybody else hated it. And I still get bullied for it now occasionally.
There's quite the history there from this
definitely
writer-director.
Not a good history on the show, though. Intrusion is not a good film.
No.
I think it's about 18th in the season 6 stream table. It's really low down.
It's not good.
No. So yeah, that's the history of who's in it and what it's about. In fact, I've not told you what it's about. Do you want the synopsis?
Love it.
It says, when 4 estranged brothers return home to say their last goodbye to their dying mother, hidden motivations reveal themselves. Agree with that?
I mean, yeah, it's
the most vague synopsis I've ever heard.
Yes, it's very vague.
There's a lot more to this movie than that. Do you have a one-word review?
I'm begging you for
mercy. Who was that? Duffy?
Was Duffy.
Excellent. Good for me.
But I think that song's kind of inappropriate because of what happened to her.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's dark. So
if you want to look up Duffy, it's not a good story. Where does this film start, Nick?
In the countryside.
Credit sequence.
Yeah.
Unusual.
I sort of sweeping small town America.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of farmland.
Yeah.
Indeed, we approach a farmhouse.
We do. I put credit sequence over funeral style music.
I guess so, yeah.
Like plinky plonky funeral music. We're in a car. We're approaching a house, and we turn up at a house with a character who turns out to be a doctor.
Okay.
He arrives at the house.
I don't know if he's a real doctor.
No. At this point in the movie, we thought he was a doctor.
He introduces himself as Dr. Turner.
Yes.
He could be a doctor.
Yes.
It might have been his day job.
Maybe.
We'll get to that.
The man of the house, however, George, does not want to let him in.
George Mitchell, Mr. Mitchell.
He's the owner of this house, and he does not want to let in this doctor.
The doctor says, I can help you.
I can help you. I can help your wife.
Your wife is not well. She's dying. I can help you. We can do it. He says, you can do it yourselves.
Yes. She is suffering, and this is a safe and effective option.
Yeah.
What this doctor is offering.
So clearly, we are led to believe that the offer is basically assisted suicide.
I guess so.
Euthanasia.
That's what we're definitely led to believe. I think that was a really nice opening scene of, right, this is the movie now. We know what's happening
the
here.
setup.
There's a dying lady in this house. Yeah. It's a really good setup in a very small scene. I quite enjoyed that. The man, George, eventually takes the bag off the doctor and says, look, get out of my house. Get off my land. I don't want you anywhere near me. But we will consider your proposal, is basically what he's saying by taking the bag off.
Yeah, he takes the bag,
Yeah. Then we join another man in another car. He gets a call and he owes somebody money.
Yeah.
But
he says, I need a week.
I need a week. This, we find out, is Travis.
Yes.
Yes, was Travis.
And I think it's not a leap at this point. I assumed correctly. He is heading towards the farmhouse.
Yes, he is.
The family is starting to gather.
Yes. I imagine it was a bit like when the Queen died last year and all the royals head up to Balmoral. It was a bit like that.
Yeah.
That's what was going on. Anyway, he arrives at the same house, but when he gets there, he doesn't go inside.
He just goes, chop some wood.
Goes out into the backyard and chops some wood.
I mean, it's a task that needs to be done.
It is. You'd think he'd go in and say hello first.
You would, wouldn't you? You really would.
No, he never goes in. And then another car arrives, and two men come out of this one.
Yeah. I put baseball cap and other. And I put three brothers to see their mother.
That's exactly what is going on. So these two guys do go inside. They go and visit the dying lady. And then they sit in the kitchen with George, the dad.
Felt like, I don't think it was. I think it was just my perception. It felt like this scene was 5 minutes long, where they just sat around the kitchen table and did not talk.
I think that's my biggest criticism of this movie is a lot of nothing happens in this movie. It's very, very slow at the first half of this movie. Barely anything happens.
But I didn't
hate it, but it was a very slow paced movie.
I didn't mind it as a setup, and I'm fine with a slow paced movie, a deliberate pace. But this specific scene, I was like, this is too long of them just looking at each other.
Yeah, they're all just sitting around the table doing nothing, basically. This is TJ and Ronnie. So the setup for this family is that TJ and Ronnie are sons of George.
Yes.
But not sons of the lady who's dying. Grace, I think her name was.
I don't think it was clear to me. No, they can't have been her sons.
No, they weren't.
Yeah.
They were George's sons.
Yeah.
Travis and Brad.
What I mean is I didn't know if she was the mother of all of them, but no, they can't.
She wasn't.
Yeah, okay, fine.
So Travis and Brad. Travis is the guy outside chopping wood. Brad's the next guy who's going to turn up in a minute. They were her sons.
Yes.
But not George's sons.
Correct.
So both parents have got two sons.
Correct.
They're half brothers. Four brothers, half brothers each. Yeah. That's the setup. That's where we're at. TJ and Ronnie are George's sons' names. And if one of them finds the doctor's bag in the bin, it's not even been opened. It's just in the bin.
Puts it on the kitchen table. What's this?
And
George says, you know what it is.
You know what it is, and whatever it is not happening.
Yeah.
That's why it's in the bin. We're not doing this.
One of them starts to talk about money, and George says, we're not talking about that.
Yeah.
Now.
This is not an appropriate time to do it.
And then
However, then he starts to talk about it. And basically what George says is that he has persuaded Grace to change her will, to leave all of her money.
He says first, for the benefit of us, the audience.
Yes.
Your mum has a lot of money.
Grace was left a lot of money by her previous husband.
Yeah.
She has a lot of money. She is a very rich lady. He has persuaded her to put that in her will, that all of that money goes to George.
Yes.
And then in George's will, he has left all of that money to his two sons,
yes,
effectively cutting out Grace's two sons from the money. And that is your setup to this movie, basically. Yeah. This is where this movie's going. Oh, at least that's what you're led to believe, because it definitely isn't where it heads. But George says, look, we've got to be careful. We can't talk about money now. Travis is already here.
Yeah.
Brad's going to be here any minute.
Just wait. He's essentially saying we need to wait it out.
We basically need to wait until I die, let alone Grace dies. There's no point talking about it. This is what's happening. The wills are set in stone. Yeah. Nothing's changing. But let's not talk about it while it's here. It's quite apparent that George does not like Travis and Brad. Then TJ and Ronnie head down into the garage.
Yeah.
Garage. Where Travis is laying the wood out that he's just cut. He's bringing it in.
Yeah, he's putting it in the store to keep dry, I guess.
Despite being told not to mention anything, Ronnie instantly tells Travis exactly what's
happening. But it's a tactic to stir things up,
He's trying to stir the pot.
He's like, we've just found out you're being cut out.
Yeah, by the way, George is cutting you out of everything. Yeah. We're getting all the money. Blah, blah, blah. Travis, he kind of hands it off. He's not that interested. And then a couple arrive. It's later at night now. The sun has set and it's nighttime. And a man and a lady arrive. This is Brad and his friend, he describes her as, Melissa.
Yeah.
It's never... made apparent whether they're in a relationship or not, but they do share a bed.
No, they don't. They're in two.
Oh no,
single
they
beds.
are. You're right. They're in 2 separate beds.
The only other thing just to mention is that we find out during that chat between the first 3 brothers is that Travis has recently come out of prison.
Yes,
Where he was in there for assault. So he's kind of being painted as the wild card.
he's the wild child of the family, and we already know that he owes somebody some money because he's just been on the phone to it, which is possibly why he's heading to this house. There doesn't seem to be a lot of love in this family between anybody.
No, and TJ and Ronnie also sort of say they're short of money for something. As well. Yeah. So.
George as soon as Brad and Melissa come into the house, George confronts them straight away.
They're so horrible to Melissa.
Horrible to her. George is like,
and we're never given that context of
why?
Other than she's an outsider.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing here?
Yeah. George even says to her, "You are not welcome here."
Yeah.
That's how he says it. Brad goes up to his mother's room. Travis is already there, so they have a bit of a hug outside.
And Grace whispers Travis's name.
Yes. So they go in and she does. And that's really all we see for now. Then it cuts to... Well, they turned up at night time, and then it's night time again. So I don't know if it's the same night or if we've moved on a day or what, but they're outside now sitting around a campfire. Not a campfire, like a fire in the garden that they've lit. Maybe from the wood that Travis was cutting earlier. And again, now this is a whole family... This is a family meeting, basically. This is George saying, look, the option of this, whatever's in this bag is on the table, but it is not happening.
He says it's out of bounds.
Very much not happening. It's out of bounds. We're not even going to discuss it. He then reads a paragraph from Grace's diary.
From 1982.
From 1982, where she talks about how she's happy that her previous husband had died.
Yeah.
She was waiting for him to have an accident that never came, and now she's free from this guy. And he wants to discuss the arrangements of what they're going to do after Grace dies, like funeral arrangements, etc. But Brad isn't ready for that yet. He's like, she's not dead yet. We can't talk about that. That's too soon.
Brad's basically like, she's still got a chance.
Yeah. Let's not discuss it.
And this side develops, doesn't it? And Ronnie and Brad end up in a scuffle.
Yeah, there's a
around
fight
the fire.
going on. Yeah. And then it all gets broken up. And this family are not a close-knit relationship at all. I don't think anybody actually likes anybody. TJ and Ronnie, maybe. Travis and Brad even have a bit of a disagreement up in the attic. They're like looking for old photos and things in the attic. They have a bit of a disagreement. Brad apologizes to Melissa for the way his family are being and treating her.
And she says, what is going on here?
What is happening at this house? Why is everybody so angry?
And Brad basically tells her about the bag. And Melissa says, well, why wouldn't you use it? She's suffering.
Yeah.
And he just replies, it's not that simple. Unbeknownst to them, George is outside these paper-thin
just
doors, listening to the whole thing.
It made me laugh a little bit because he's like, they have that exact conversation and he ends with, it's not that simple. Good night. And then he just rolls over and goes to bed. And I'm like, basically. We're not even having that conversation. She's got no further questions. He's got no further answers. TJ and Ronnie are now sitting downstairs. They're discussing being broke, and the word "we've got to do what we've got to do" comes out of his mouth. I think about 4 times in this scene. He says it a lot.
Yeah.
And then they find an old wedding photo of Grace and her first husband from their first marriage, and they still call her mum, which I find really interesting. I don't know how long this family have been together for, but they do call her mum all the way through it.
Yeah.
Even though they're about to screw over their 2 brothers. And then he says, we've got to do what we got to do again. And then we cut to the middle of the night, and everybody's asleep, and Brad gets woken up by a noise, mysterious noise downstairs. Night noises wake up Brad.
Yeah.
So he gets up, he goes to investigate, has a bit of a look around the house, doesn't like what he finds. He finds the TV on.
Yeah,
playing
the
like
static.
Which isn't a thing anymore, but that's what we're showing.
Yeah, but it's an old rabbit ears type TV, isn't it?
But also, what disturbs him a little bit more than that is that the front door's wide open.
It is. The I can't remember what it's called. What's
shutter?
The shutter. The fly door is
thing.
just like
it's just banging,
wafting
and the
back and
open.
forward.
So he does what nobody else would ever do in a horror movie. He goes and wakes up somebody else.
It's a sensible move, to be fair.
He goes to wake up Travis.
It's like, who do I trust? Travis, right? Yeah. I'm not walking around this house on my own.
Yeah.
I'm getting back up. Although, conveniently, doesn't tell Travis what's going on. He just goes, Travis, get up, put your shoes on.
Yes.
And Travis is like, why do you want me to
It's
put my shoes on?
not
for?
until they
What-
get downstairs. It's like, oh, I came down and the door was open and the TV was on. And then Travis picks up the phone off the side and the line's been cut.
It's-
and
yeah. So something
is
afoot.
going to happen. And they realise that something's kicking off. And then all of a sudden the power goes off.
They do.
The power cuts out. And so they split up. Trav's like, you go in to check on TJ and Ronnie.
Yeah, he says, go and see where TJ and Ronnie are. I'm going to see if the brake has tripped.
So Travis, instead of going to see where TJ and Ronnie are, goes out to the garage and finds that the car tyres have been slashed. And then he runs off to check on the other two. But
Yeah, sees that they're not.
we just need to know this, I think.
Who aren't in their beds.
They are not in their beds. Brad's gone down to the basement. He's about to check on the breaker to see what's going on.
Meanwhile, Melissa wakes up.
Yes, she gets woken up by a noise also.
I think
and
so, yeah.
realizes that Brad isn't in bed. But this is where we find out that Ronnie and TJ are also not in their beds. And then suddenly, just before they turn the power back on, they're both down in the basement at this point, they hear Melissa screaming.
They do.
So they both dart upstairs as fast as they can. Melissa's nowhere to be seen. She's not in the house. And the doctor's bag is on the side and it is open.
It is.
There's a helicopter outside. Apologies if you can hear it.
It's open and empty.
It's open and being emptied, yeah. And Melissa's not in the house. So they go outside. There's like a wooded area around the back of the house.
There is. It's just a full-on wood.
Yes. So they go outside to see if they can spot anything unusual. And then suddenly Melissa just runs out of the woods, barefoot, screaming, straight into the arms of Brad.
Bleeding.
Her foot's all cut open.
And Brad does that whole thing where he's like, he has to stare and squint doubly hard into the woods.
And you can see two masked figures.
And it's creepy.
It is creepy. There's two men in balaclavas
And
looking back at him.
They basically have a staring contest.
Yeah.
No one, who's going to blink first?
Absolutely.
And the two guys in masks then just run
at them with full power.
I thought it was good. It was a good scene.
It was a good scene.
It was creepy.
Travis and Melissa and Brad all run back to the house. Guess what happens? Trav falls over.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when people run. See the wave for more info. But they do get back to the house and they manage to barricade themselves inside Grace's bedroom with Grace.
I was really confused. I didn't think this was greatly edited.
Agreed.
Because they were like, I thought they'd left Melissa. Because they were like, where's Melissa? Where's Melissa? And I thought they'd sort of shut the door before she got in. But then suddenly she's with them in the bedroom.
I think they barricaded themselves in the house, but she'd already gone up to the bedroom.
I think so, but it was the edit was really confusing and it's dark. Yeah.
So they barricade themselves in the house. She's gone up to the bedroom. They go up to the bedroom, barricade themselves into the bedroom. I think that's what happened.
In Mum's room.
In Mum's room, in Grace's room, while she's still unconscious in the bed. And this is normally where a horror film would stop and be like, you give your characters a chance to regroup. This one doesn't. This guy's pounding on the door, trying to get in, trying to break the barricades through. And then suddenly Melissa shouts, "You're scaring her," about Grace.
Yeah, because and her heart rate monitor is going beep, beep, beep,
it's
beep.
going crazy. And then the banging all stops and the guys just go, as far as we're concerned. We don't see them again for a little while.
Well, Travis said they've gone.
Yeah. Which is really... One of them looks under the door, which is really creepy.
Yeah, they haven't gone. They're outside the door.
Yeah, they're outside the door, but they're no longer trying to get in. Trav and Brad have a bit of an argument about who it is.
Yeah, because obviously no one trusts each other, and Brad immediately says, "Is this because of you?
Yeah.
Do you owe people from prison?
Yes, which
Are
we
they
know he
after
does.
you? Yeah, but it was a bit of a leap, I thought.
Yeah, it was. It was not the twist I was hoping was coming.
Yeah.
But also Trav's saying, it's TJ and Ronnie. They're not in their beds. It's got to be them.
Yeah.
And they're after this money. And we don't know. The film's trying to lead us to believe that that's who it is by not showing them. And Trav believes that's who it is, but Brad's not buying it. So nobody knows. We don't know what's going on at this point. And then suddenly the power goes off again because at some point the power had come back on.
Yeah.
But now it's gone off again. And Grace's life support turns off.
It does.
Luckily, it's got a battery backup system.
8 hours.
Yes.
It's life it's got on it. So that is our countdown to stuff.
To turning the power back on if we need to.
Yeah.
They look outside the window because they're obviously on the first floor, and they look outside down into the back garden, and it's on fire.
Yes,
but
the garden is very
much on fire, but it's been lit up with the words mercy.
Yeah,
lit in fire on the back garden, and the two guys in the masks are just standing there above this sign, almost
sort
like
of looking up, hopefully,
at the window. And we're like, what the hell is going on?
And mercy, presumably, is because we've already seen the hint of it. Is is the Doctor in on this? It's the same thing the Doctor wanted.
Yeah. What is going on? Why are these people trying to kill this old lady? This is what the film's asking us at this point. Trav has got the Doctor's bag's in this room now, and he's got the leaflet from the bag, and they just got discussing what it is.
Yeah.
And Brad says, whatever happens, they can't be allowed to get in this room.
Yeah.
They're not allowed in this room. Trav then tells Brad that they are being cut out of the wills.
Yes.
That Brad's now filled in on this. And Travis wants to, therefore, use whatever's in this bag and end whatever's going on here.
Melissa goes really quickly. I'll do it if you want.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm happy to inject this old lady.
Yeah. It gets us out of this. Again, that was a bit of a, came out of nowhere a bit.
So then Trav's like, right, we're not doing that. Brad's like, no, let's not do that. Trav's like, right, let me go and get my phone then. Let me go back to my room. Well, leave this room where I'm safe. Let me go and get my phone. And I'll bring it back and we'll call the police or whatever we're going to do.
And Brad says, look, mine's also in our room.
Yeah.
So see
which one you can get to.
Yeah.
He goes out of the room. They're both gone. Neither mobile phone are where they should be. So Trav's like, right, well, then I'm going to make a run for it. And he goes outside. And there's a motorbike outside.
Yeah.
Which hasn't had its wheels slashed. Tires slashed.
The bit that I couldn't get my head around this movie. So when Trav leaves the room, and he's been on the phones, something clanks and he's got like a little box.
Yeah.
Was that I thought that was the death pills.
I'm not sure what it was.
I don't think it was. And
I don't know what it was.
No.
If anybody else has seen this and knows what it was, let us know. It was like a little silver box, wasn't it? I don't know what it was.
I was like, oh, was it him who took the thing out of the bag? But then I don't think it was, because later on it's not a silver box that's moving around locations in this movie.
Yeah,
so
it is strange. But anyway, goes outside to a motorbike that he's found, which doesn't have its tyres slashed and is able to be driven. So he's trying to get that started whilst Brad and Melissa are looking through the window, watching him. And then suddenly there's a jump scare because this man bursts through the window.
Yeah,
First
they're
floor
like,
window.
what's that? What's that?
Well, yeah, they're looking right out the window because it's dark.
Window scares have a good record on this.
They do. It did make me jump, I must admit.
Yeah, me too.
This guy jumps through the first floor window. I don't know how he managed it, but he jumped through the first floor window.
He got a ladder. We saw
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a fight breaks out in the room. Him and Brad have this masked man and Brad have a fight. Meanwhile, outside, Trav's also fighting with another guy with a mask on. And then another guy with a mask on, which I don't think we were aware of at this point.
I was starting to lose count now because I was like, I think there's at least 3.
Yeah, I thought.
And then I've sort of crossed it and put, no, there must be 4.
Yeah.
At this point, I think.
So we don't know what's going on. They're all dressed exactly the same.
Yeah.
But anyway, while Trav's having this fight out on the lawn, this other guy shoots him in the back of the head.
Yeah. So Trav's on top and he's basically he's got hold of this knife and it looks like he's about to stick this guy who's fighting back. And then, suddenly he gets executed.
He does. He gets shot in the back of the head. And the film fades to black.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's an interesting stylistic choice. I wonder what's happening here.
Because my perception to this point was kind of like, I think Trav's going to be the main story. He's who we're going to follow.
Yeah.
So I was quite surprised when he got executed.
I was quite surprised by the turn this movie takes at this point. Because it fades back into a church. It's daytime.
Yeah.
We're at a church, and the doctor we met earlier is sitting in a church. There's nobody else in there.
Having a good old pray.
He's just having a bit of a pray. And then it's revealed to us that we are now back at the start of the movie.
Yeah.
And we're about to watch this movie again.
Because we see Travis again in the car.
So the doctor pulls out of his car, in his car.
At the crossroads.
Yeah.
Which we saw
earlier. When the doctor left the house, Travis passed him. And so it becomes apparent that we're about to watch this movie again from a different perspective now. Yeah. So we stick with instead of following Travis up to the house, which is what we do the first time, we follow the doctor who texts somebody, sends a text out that says, meet me at sundown. And then he's on like cliffside watching the house from a distance. And it is sundown and a couple of cars pull up next to him. Then we cut back to the house. This is obviously all stuff we've never seen before. And we're with George. And George tries to burn the bag or the drugs from the bag.
He does, yeah.
That the doctor brought him.
I thought he put the whole bag on the barbecue, basically.
Yeah, I think he took the box out of the bag and put that on the barbecue. But he's gone to light a fire and forgot any matches.
Yeah.
He's a stupid old man. And when he comes back out, there's a man in a mask standing outside on the porch.
There is.
Which means that these guys were here quite a long time before they revealed themselves, because that means they were there.
Everyone's in bed. This is just earlier in the night.
This is earlier in the night. Yeah. So, and when he goes back out to relight the fire, the thing that he put on the fire that was in the bag is gone because this masked man has taken it. And then, whilst he's outside trying to figure out what the hell's going on and if he's just losing his mind, 3 men get into the house.
Yeah.
So for the first time, we've actually seen 3 men together. Because before this, we've only ever seen 2 at a time.
Yes.
But now we see 3. And they go into the mum's room with a bag.
With the bag.
It looks like they're about to do whatever this task is they've come here to do. But unfortunately, George is asleep in the chair in the corner. So a bit more time has passed because he was outside when they went in. And he wakes up and he catches them and they have a scuffle. And they fall down the stairs together, these 2, Masked Man and George.
And it does not end well for George.
No, he's dead.
Because he's dead.
He
At the
dies
bottom
from
of the
this fall.
stairs. He's cracked his neck. And the Masked Man does not seem very happy about this development.
No, he's
kind of put his heads in his hands and this plan's gone wrong already.
Yeah, already.
His friends come and they move.
They get rid of. They
move
the
Dad's body. They carry him out into the woods, don't they?
They do, yeah. Meanwhile, TJ is downstairs watching TV. Didn't hear anything.
No, I think he's got up. But we don't. It's quite a big house.
It is a big house. That's true.
Yeah,
But
I was prepared to let it go.
I also, but I have made a note of it. He didn't hear anything. He's watching TV and he finds a VHS video, which he puts into the TV player, or the video player, and it's of Grace, but of a much younger woman.
Doing like a promotional video for the church.
New Life Church.
Which sounds a bit Scientology-ish
It does,
to me.
doesn't it? So she's doing this like promo video. She's the star of this promo video. But suddenly she gets a nosebleed while she's talking.
Yeah.
So this is like an outtake video, I guess. And the cameraman cuts away and he comes into shot.
Camera's still running.
The camera's still running. He realises she's got a bruise on her head.
Yeah.
And he talks about, you've got to get away from this bully.
Has he done this to you
and
again?
This was George. The cameraman was George, but as a younger version. And it's all about George stealing Grace away from her husband and whatever. And then suddenly TJ gets disturbed whilst he's watching this video and clubbed from behind, basically, isn't he? He's knocked out from behind. And then he's dragged off into the woods. We're waking up in order now. Ronnie's waking.
The video ends
and
hence the static.
Hence the static, and while the front door's open. Ronnie then wakes up as TJ's being dragged into the woods, but TJ manages to stab the guy who's dragging him. He's got a knife on him, and he fights back and stabs the guy. Ronnie goes for a wee because he's woken up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
He doesn't last very long. He gets attacked from behind in the bathroom.
Yes.
They have a bit of a scuffle. He falls over and bangs his head on the bath, and he's dead straight away. He had the least fight out of all of them.
Again, a kind of accidental death.
Yeah. That's the noise that wakes up Brad.
Correct.
Which then triggers where we started from the film. He then wakes up Travis. They go out and investigate.
But again, the fact that they didn't cross paths with any of these masked men because they're now moving Ronnie out of the bathtub as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot
to-ing
and throwing
going on. TJ is still alive in the woods. He starts crawling back to the house.
Yeah, but there's also one of the masked men is wounded.
Yeah. 2 other masked men turn up, find their stabbed friend.
And basically take him off to help.
They panic. They go take him away. Brad and Travis, whilst they're chatting in the basement, there's a man hiding in the basement behind the door.
Yeah.
Which they didn't spot, which was obviously part of the scene earlier. Melissa, we find out what happened to her. She gets disturbed when she wakes up and runs into the woods herself.
Yeah. Stepped on a glass as well, didn't she?
Stepped on a glass. She spotted a dude in the house and runs off into the woods. TJ grabs her, tries to get her to help him, but she doesn't recognise him, freaks out and runs away. And that's when she runs back into the arms of Brad and Travis. But TJ, because of the commotion he's caused, gets stabbed in the chest.
To death.
So we're dead. George, Ronnie, and TJ are now all dead.
Yep. So it's George and his 2 sons, all dead.
While this is going on, 3 masked men trying to get into the mum's room again. And I've written here, how many masked guys are there? And I've written 5 question mark. This is the point then when they burn Mercy into the lawn. Trav makes a run for the motorbike. Melissa says to Brad, what kind of Howe family is this?
Yeah, and this time we start to see it from... Because we see it from Trav's point of view, because before we sort of heard the motorbike and everything.
Yeah. So we've seen it from Trav's point of view. Brad reveals that he thinks that the church killed his biological father, Grace's first husband,
and that's what
these guys are
from the church.
Yeah, that's what he thinks is happening, and that's what he tells Melissa.
And Melissa's like, the church?
Yeah,
are you sure?
Yeah, she doesn't buy it. Trav almost gets away on the bike before he was tackled off it and then shot.
He
in
was
the back
basically
of the head.
cleislined off a fast-moving
motorbike, by an old man.
Yeah,
because the guy who
seemed basically okay.
Yeah.
You'd think his arm would have come off.
Yeah, so he shoots the guy. This old man shoots Trav in the back of the head and then takes his mask off, and he starts freaking out.
And now he's panicking.
It's just a normal old dude.
Some old church dude.
Yeah.
Why does Brad now just smash up a cabinet really angrily?
Brad freaks out.
I think he's trying to board the windows.
That's exactly what he's doing. He freaks out and he gets the axe has somehow appeared in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Don't know how that happened, but he starts freaking out and goes to town on a chest of drawers with an axe. And uses the broken pieces to board up the bedroom windows.
Yeah.
The masked guys have a bit of a regroup. They gather downstairs. There's a lot of them. I think I counted 9. One of them is the leader or the main guy is the doctor, which we kind of knew anyway. And he's kind of trying to rally the troops. Really, he's like, what we're doing isn't wrong. What we're doing is a kindness. It's a mercy. But the guy who shot Trav in the head is not having any of it anymore. He's like, this has gone too far. I'm out. I'm going home. And he has enough and he leaves. And the doctor says, look, if you want, you can go. I'm going to finish this. If anybody wants to stay with me, they can. I'm not going to hold anybody accountable, but stay or go. It's up to you. Nobody leaves, apart from the guy who shot Trav.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone else doubles down.
Then the next scene, the sun comes up. So we've kind of caught up with ourselves already. And this is where we are from following Trav's death now.
Yeah, and Brad's kind of having a revelation, I guess, isn't he? He's like, I'm not letting these guys stop me getting my money.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he's obviously worked out the church wants that money as well.
Yeah.
That's where I'm sitting watching this.
Yeah. It was the church's money in the first place, and somehow it's got into this family.
Yeah.
But the sun comes up. Grace is still alive. Brad and Melissa are still alive, sitting in Grace's room. All the guys are still outside, still alive downstairs. They basically waited the night out for each other, each other. And he says Brad says he won't be stopped from getting the money, and he leaves the room with the axe.
Yeah, and Melissa follows him.
He's going to finish this. Basically, is what's happening.
As they were going down the stairs, in my brain, I'm going, she's going to smash him in the back of the head.
I did as well. I was thinking the same thing.
Sure, she was.
I thought this was the twist that was coming, but it wasn't. So when he gets downstairs, the masked guys are all still down there, and they reveal themselves very slowly.
So we look through the door frame into the living room, and we can see like 2, and then
2 more appear from either side of the door.
And I think there was about 8.
There was 9. I counted 9 altogether. They go after him again. They beat them down. They managed to get Melissa as he's going upstairs.
Yeah, and this was brutal. And this might be my biggest problem with this movie. So Brad and Melissa are heading back up the stairs. The mask basically got hold of Melissa.
Yeah.
They're pulling her down. There's loads of them. Brad can't hold on. He lets her go.
Yeah.
And
he looks in her eyes and he says, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and there's a look of disbelief on her face.
And Brad goes back into his mum's room.
So why should I care about any of these people?
Yeah.
That was my big issue now, because Brad's done this.
Yeah, well, we're coming to the end now. So basically, the end of this movie happens now, and then we'll discuss why we shouldn't like any of these people. He locks himself back in the mum's room. He's shouting out the door at them. He's like, okay, look, I'll do it. I'm going to do it. I'll do it. It's fine. I'll do it. And he sets up this equipment that's in this doctor's bag. It's basically, it does look like a euthanasia machine. There's two capsules you put on the top. He puts them on, connects the tube to the drip, turns the machine on. And within seconds, Grace wakes up.
She does a big breath in.
She does. First time we've ever really seen her breathe all the way through the movie. Her eyes open.
My notes I've written, it's not death drugs, it's life drugs.
It's life drugs. And he shouts out the door, I've given her the cure.
Yeah.
For whatever this was. And
Grace comes around.
Yeah. And they let themselves into the room, or he lets them into the room. And they're all masked off now. They're all just normal people. The doctor kind of looks over and smiles at Grace. And the film cuts away. And the next scene, they're carrying her out on a stretcher.
Yeah.
The masked guys. Brad's sitting on the porch, and the doctor hands a gun to Brad.
Yeah. First, Grace looks at Brad and she gives him evils.
She does. She gives him the stink eye.
Yeah,
she's an angry lady. So the doctor walks over to Brad, hands him a gun, and the film kind of fades back to what was happening at the beginning. So it was like a high drone shot of the countryside in the area, and you just hear one gunshot, and then the film ends.
Yeah.
So, what did you think?
I didn't see the twist coming that they were life drugs.
Yeah.
And that basically that whole twist, that all those conversations at the start of this movie, we thought they were, do we put her out of her misery? Then you've got the issue about the money. The fact that the twist was they were already doing that. They were already giving her a death sentence.
The twist of the movie is that we've been following the bad guys all the way through.
Yeah.
And the guys in the masks are the good guys.
Well, it's relative, but
they're the ones trying to
save her
life.
The church wanted to keep her alive.
The church are trying to keep her alive.
I don't know if we can say good guys because it's clearly a shady church.
100%. All churches are shady.
Yeah, but yeah, that fit.
That's the twist.
I kind of liked it.
I liked it. It was neat.
Yeah,
it worked as a twist. I don't know if I can
takes
say
a lot of liberties though. This film, doesn't it?
It does.
To
I
go
can't say
along
if
with.
I can say I saw it coming, but it was obvious that this wasn't all as it seemed all the way through.
Yeah,
and you knew something was coming. My main criticism of this film is that it's really fucking dark.
My issues, I think, are more technical. I found it so hard to follow what was going on when the
pitch black in most.
Everyone's running around the house. Really, it was really difficult to work out who was hitting who.
Yeah, it was too dark. There was scenes where you just couldn't see what was happening, and like that whole thing with the silver box with the jigsaw puzzle picture. I don't even know what that was.
No, I don't.
I think it was the machine that he hooked up at the end, but I'm not 100% sure.
Because we never saw someone pick it up after.
And we didn't, but
Trav
things moved around all over the place.
Or did we? And we just couldn't see
Exactly.
it because it was dark.
Things were moving. The axe ended up in the bedroom. I have no idea how that happened. Things were moving. That's the only other silver thing in the whole film, so I'm assuming that's what it was, but I don't know that. My other question is, why did the church guys need to wear masks? There was no it was almost like Travis.
Well, they were hoping to get in and out without being seen, weren't they? And then this all went wrong.
It did all go wrong, but did they need the masks? Who were they hiding from? George knew who they were.
Yes, but he couldn't identify someone with a mask on. So the plan was, we get in, we give her the cure,
we get out,
we sneak out.
Job done.
Presumably they were going to, come back for a later. I don't know.
It all went to shit. The plan, the doctor's plan or the churchgoer's plan, all went to shit very quickly because they killed George almost instantly.
Yeah.
Then they killed TJ. Then they killed Ronnie. Then they went back and killed TJ again. Then they tried to kill Melissa. There was all sorts of stuff going on. Overall, this isn't a bad film. It's a good story. It worked. The story works. The twist works. But technically, it's a terrible film because you can't see it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Character-wise, then, why? I don't think George is any better than her first husband.
No, it was worse, if anything.
Yeah, because I'm presuming he coerced her to change the will. Because from the obviously we never hear Grace speak, apart from she says Travis's name.
Yeah,
I'm presuming
the stink eye she gives to Brad,
presuming her real will would have been that the church gets the money.
I assume so, and he's either fraudulently changed her will or has coerced her into changing her will. What was she? Who had poisoned her? Because I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's not an
illness. It's not an illness.
It says a mirror. It says because when they give her the life drugs, the camera zooms in on a pamphlet, doesn't it? And it says experimental dosage for something.
Yeah,
I thought it was an illness rather than she'd been actively poisoned.
Does a cure of an illness happen?
No,
that quickly?
You've got to go with that. It's some miracle drugs to cure whatever the unspecified illness.
So we're thinking she was ill, that George hadn't made her ill to try and.
That's what I took from it. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
But I could be wrong.
It's just the cure happened instantly, and that's what made me think that's a poison and an antidote, surely. But the film doesn't explain that to you, which is.
And Brad does use words. I've given her the cure.
He does say that. To be fair,
there's bits to like about this movie. There's bits to not like about it.
He gave her the cure very quickly after Melissa was taken. We don't know what happened to Melissa.
No.
We don't know if they just took her downstairs and explained what happened.
Or shot her, took her out the back.
But why would they kill her?
Because she can identify them.
Maybe. I don't know. It just seemed like it happened. He let her go to the wolves very quickly and then instantly went, okay, I'll give her the cure.
Yeah.
When he could have just said to him while they were on the stairs, okay, I'll go and do it. Leave her alone. Or they could have just took her downstairs and gone, well, this is what's happening here. Your boyfriend's actually a psychopath who's trying to kill his mother.
It was interesting that he just gave up because surely in his head, would it not cross his mind that, well, if I give her this cure, then they're not letting me go, are they?
Yeah.
Which is what happened.
So I don't know. The Melissa character feels very redundant and weird because it's like, why was she just a friend? If you're going to have that character in there, surely she's the wife or something. Or
you've already got 4 brothers and a dad. What was her purpose?
It felt like they needed a female character in the movie, and that's all it was. It genuinely felt like it'd just been shoehorned in.
2 of the brothers and sisters. Then do you know what I mean?
It felt like there was a shoehorned woman in that film for no reason. She didn't do anything. She didn't achieve anything. She just ran around screaming.
Women either.
No, they weren't.
So it would have been very light on.
It would have just been Grace.
Yeah,
who just basically says one word and lies in bed all the way through. So it feels like that's all that was. Overall, though, I don't think it's a bad movie.
Look, it's a lot better than Intrusion from the same writer.
No, it's true. It is a lot better than Intrusion.
This movie is flawed and it's crazy.
It's batshit.
But again, it's trying some. At least it's trying something.
This is going to be my next point. It's got the balls to try something different, same as Sweet Girl did.
Yeah,
it had the balls to be different and try a twist. It might not have worked as well as.
But at least it's having a big swing.
Yeah, and I feel like
it's like the opposite of Intrusion, which was considering it's from the same writer. It was as paint by numbers as you could see.
I always get Intrusion and Secret Obsession mixed up.
Well,
I couldn't tell you which movie was which, if I'm honest.
Evil Husband, yeah,
I couldn't tell you which one was which. It's an absolutely fine movie. It's a home invasion movie. It's quite good. There's a good few action scenes in it. The acting's not bad. The story's okay.
But technically it's
unwatchable. There's parts of this movie
really
that's
difficult to watch.
Too dark to watch, and it's a real shame. It's a real shame because it doesn't take much to make this actually into a half decent movie. All you got to do is switch a light on. Simple as that.
If you're really starting to pick it apart, a lot happened that second time around in that little time period.
Okay, this is my next question. Does that need to happen?
What, the
flip and start again? Or can we just edit this into one long movie?
Make it linear?
Yeah.
I think so, especially because you've got the twist at the end.
Yeah.
So it's like, is this a bit of less is more? So you still have the night play out, but have it play out linearly.
Yeah.
But you've still got the twist at the end.
Yeah, because all the scenes, there's not many new scenes. There's quite a lot of new scenes. There's not many repeated scenes in the second half of the movie. So all those scenes would fit in the first half of the movie. You just got to cut between them. So it just felt like a directorial choice to do
One gimmick too much.
I think you can edit this movie into order, and it would probably be a better movie. I don't know where some of the words in that sentence went. But it would probably be a better movie if you edit it into order. Makes more sense.
Yeah.
I didn't like that twist in the middle where it jumped back to the start because I was like,
let's see that all again. Let's
re-roll
it from a different character's viewpoint.
Yeah. And it wasn't that interesting the first time around. So, yeah, I think I'm going to ask you in a minute, what would you change about this movie? And I think that would be the thing I would
Because I know that first time around, this movie wanted me to think I was getting a brother v brother confrontation.
Yeah.
And it was Ronnie and TJ.
Yeah, that's what the movie wants you to think all the way through.
But it really quickly shows you that's not the case when they switch perspective. So I don't think it was worth having that whole gimmick just for 10, well, probably maybe not even 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes of trying to make me think it was the other two brothers.
They throw the red herring in of Trav owes somebody money as well. That doesn't come to anything.
I know that's never going to be.
That wasn't ever going to be the thing, but they were trying to tell you that it was TJ and Ronnie, but throw you a curveball why it might be the guys that are after Travis.
Yeah.
And then the twist is that it isn't either of them. And actually, the guys you're following are the bad guys.
The problem
there's a lot of gimmicks going on in this movie that don't need to be there.
The criticism is then, maybe it's an unfair criticism because of the level and the budget of this movie, but then I suppose it's more on the writing, so maybe not, is that all 4 brothers are paper-thin characters.
Yeah, there's no... Yeah. There's no character there.
Like every time we thought I was getting some interesting info about Travis, because like you say, you get the hints about being in prison and he might have someone after him. It's just gone.
Yeah, he just gets
Same.
shot in the head.
There's one conversation that TJ and Ronnie have with each other when they both say, "Oh, we need that money for next week for something," and it's like, God, we probably could have done a bit.
And Brad, we know literally nothing about.
No.
We're getting no history. Brad's the main guy. He's the highest.
We don't know why he wants the money.
He's credited first in the movie.
Yeah.
We have no idea anything about him.
What he wants to do.
Why he just has this female friend that he carries around with him. It's weird. So yeah, the characters, all of them are very linear characters. There's no the paper thin, like you say.
Yeah.
But overall, the story's okay. But the movie's batshit. The movie is insane, and it's too dark.
But it was an all right way to pass an hour and a half, and like I say, it and like you backed up, it has a big swing. It does work, but we see so many cookie cutter, run of the mill things. At least it tried something.
It seems to be becoming a trend for season 9 of movies that have got a bit of balls and tried something different.
Yeah.
That's 3 out of the 4 movies have all tried something different. In fact, all 4 of them have, because to make a superhero budget on movie on no budget is a swing.
And do you know what? There's I've liked these first 4 movies of this season to very different levels, but maybe I'm just in a good mood. I'm positive. I've seen more positives in them than negatives.
Agreed. What's the best thing about this movie?
I like the twist.
Yeah,
I liked the twist that it was life drugs. Yeah. I just like the flip of my expectations.
Yeah, they're trying to save this woman, not kill this woman.
Yeah.
What would you change about it?
If we're going crazy and we've got these magical drugs that can cure someone like that, I do wonder if on her way out of the house as she's being stretched out, I might have liked a conversation between Grace and Brad. And I just think that little full stuff at the end where we find out Grace is also
psycho,
bad person.
Yeah.
And there's no one's redeemable in this movie. I just think that would have been a nice addition for me.
What do you think of Grace looks over at Brad, gives him the stink eye, and then shoots him? She pulls the gun from under her blanket, shoots him in the head.
like a sawn-off shotgun or something.
I think that's a very fair point. Give Grace a bit of an ending as well.
Just a few sentences that get us across. This woman's in charge.
Yeah.
This was her plan. She was the brains behind this, and she fucking hates all her family.
Yeah.
Like, she's won.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. I think that's a great one.
I think that's an achievable, realistic change that adds a little something.
I think I would remove the flip back gimmick and put it into order.
I don't think this is a worse movie if you do that.
No, I don't either. And I would also turn a light on. Let me see what's happening, please. At one point, the garden was on fire and you still couldn't see what was going on.
No.
I mean, turn a light on. Should we talk stream table?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's the 4th film going into this season's stream table. Currently at number 3 is Freaks, You're One of Us. Number 2 is Sweet Girl, and number 1 is Catty Catty. I don't think it's challenging number 1, but where does it go?
For me, Catty Catty stays in the top spot. I see, for very different reasons, I wouldn't argue with anyone that wanted to have any of these 3 films
in any order.
I think I have a slight preference, but they're pretty close for me.
I have a preference. I think we're going to say the same thing.
Should we do it together? Should we say a position?
Okay.
After 3. And then we're going to say another number.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Third.
4th.
Oh. Okay. I think it's slightly better than Freaks, You're One of Us, personally.
It's an absolute coin toss for me.
It is.
I don't mind it being third.
I think Sweet Girl is better than both of them. I think that's a given.
I would say Sweet Girl has the edge because it was a bit more fun.
Yeah. I think this one's slightly better than last week's.
I have no problem with
paper,
that. They're so close.
There's a sheet of paper between them, but I think it goes third for me.
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Sweet. Go. Right, shall we call on Robin to get us another one out?
Yes, please.
What do you want from next week's movie?
I think I feel like I've said this already this season, but we don't think we've had a sci-fi for ages.
That's true. We haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
because
tough to
Robin
do.
teased us with Freaks, didn't he? Because the IMDb had it as a sci-fi.
Yeah,
but
it definitely was not.
wasn't.
No, definitely was not.
Do you want me to press the button?
Yeah, let's do it.
It has picked a movie called The Buddy Games.
Okay.
Any ideas?
I vaguely remember adding this to the list quite a long time ago, I think.
Oh, really?
I think it's like a bawdy late night comedy type thing.
Interesting. Okay. You're right. It is a comedy. IMDb have it as a comedy.
Okay.
Nothing else, just comedy.
Do you know what? How rare is it that we just get a movie
There's
where
just
it's
one
just
genre.
one genre?
Never happened. It's from 2019. Do you want the synopsis?
Yes, please.
Josh Duhamel stars in this wild and hilarious, no-holds-barred comedy. After 6 lifelong friends have a 5-year falling out, Bob, aka the Bob Father, reunites his pals for the Buddy Games, an insane competition of absurd physical and mental challenges with the chance to win 150 grand. Now all bets are off as the determined dudes fight, claw and party for the big bucks in this star-studded brofest featuring Dak Shepard, Olivia Munn and Kevin Dillon. I feel like that was an advert rather than a
It did
synopsis.
sound, it was a good read.
Thank you. I feel like I could get into doing that sort of stuff. I'm getting hungover games vibes from it, maybe just because it's got games in the title. It's higher rated than this week's movie, 4.8 on IMDb.
Okay.
Yeah, I've given you the cast already. So it's directed by Josh Duhamel as well.
Oh,
And
interesting.
written, in fact.
Interesting. Triple threat.
Oh, looking at this, there's also a sequel coming out this year.
Oh, well, if it's got a sequel, how can it be
How
bad?
can it be bad? In fact, it's just come out. The sequel came out this month.
Okay.
So yeah, that might be a watch-along option.
Maybe.
In the future,
maybe.
if it's any good. So yeah, go out and watch The Buddy Games, and we'll be back. No, and then check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd at BOTS_podcast on all of those. If you want to drop us an email, our email address is bottomofthestream@gmail.com, and our website is bottomofthestream.com. On our website, you will find every episode we've ever recorded, all of the stream tables, loads of other cool stuff, and you can even get some merch if you want to buy a Bottom of the Stream
Ski mask.
ski mask. Good shout.
Perfect for these long June days.
And normally at this point I'd say head over to Patreon, but we're going to revamp our Patreon. We think we've got some
We
ideas of what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So maybe leave that for a few weeks and see what we do with it, and then if you like what we've done, join it at that point.
Sure.
After you've been there, though, head over to Discord. The Discord is a wonderful group full of wonderful, funny, friendly, happy people who will talk to you about anything at any time of the day or night. We do watch-alongs in there. We play games in there. There's loads of games just been added to Discord, so we could even have like a game night one night.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So yeah, we do all of that in the Discord. It's a lot of fun. Come and join us. We do all the real talks in there for the wave. Everything goes on in the Discord. It's fun. It's a great place to be. The Discord link will be in the bottom of the show notes.
If you can spare a few minutes, please consider leaving us a rating and a review anywhere you can rate and review podcasts. It really does help get the word out about our show. And we want to get more listeners, make new friends, get more people in the Discord, spread the word. If we've got to watch these movies, then come on, you can listen to us, and maybe you want to watch some of them too. Some of them are even good.
Some people in that Discord watch every one of these movies.
Oh, we love them for it.
It blows my mind that they do it, but some of them have been doing it for years now.
Yeah.
It's just great fun.
You can find us on any of the places that you get your podcast from, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Podchaser, Listen Notes,
He's remembered it.
Pandora, iHeartRadio. There's hundreds.
No, fuck
We're
on
on them.
radio. Let's leave that one. They annoy me more than any of the others, so don't listen to us on there. But listen to us on all the others. Then go out and watch the Buddy Games,
Yes.
and then we'll be back on Monday for the Wave and next Thursday for the movie show.
Cheers.
Bye.